Well, everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Treasure. And this is a new comedy drama that focuses on the story of Ruth, back in 1990, who was an American journalist of Jewish descent, who brings her father, a Holocaust survivor from Poland, Edek, back to Poland so that she could do research and do this traveling. Edek winds up throwing this all out of whack and trying to sabotage and turn this into a fun, quirky kind of adventure between father and daughter. You have writer-director Julia von Heinz, who brings this film to life in a very gray and very stark-looking world. Poland in 1990, and there's a lot of life that gets brought into the situation thanks to Lena Dunham, who plays Ruth, and Stephen Fry, who plays Edek. Stephen Fry is having an absolute blast with this film and this performance, but there's also a lot of emotion here. Dunham also is going through a lot in terms of processing. She's recently divorced. She doesn't have the best relationship with her father. Her Edek always seems to be trying to make a joke of things and making light of things. There's a generational difference in terms of how they process and confront their trauma, and that becomes one of the big conflicts of the film. You have Zbigniew Zamakovsky, who plays Stefan, who's this man who Edek winds up hiring to drive him around and stuff like that. He's a fun, nice addition to this dynamic, but really this film is about that father-daughter dynamic and the way that they process their own Judaism, how they process their own Jewish culture, their processing of the Holocaust, and, you know, there's moments where Edek's like, why do you bring people here? Why do you make this a museum? Why would you want to look at this? And Ruth is coming from the perspective of, like, we need to make sure that we never forget so this never happens again. And Edek's just trying to get past it so that he doesn't have to live this trauma over again. There's a lot in terms of, like, Edek's life growing up and what his family lost when they were taken from their homes, and going back there and everything that it digs back up, whether it's the treasure of its, whatever that treasure is of its title, which I'm not going to get into because I don't want to spoil that for you as the audience, but it's a lot of processing of trauma and a lot there. And this duo makes for such an engrossing and interesting film. Their dynamic is great. The things that Edek goes through in terms of, like, flirting around. He is a widower. And you have Ruth, who's not a big fan of watching her dad, you know, get some, or flirting, and her still processing the loss of her mother. And grief and loss and trauma and how each of these characters take complete different approaches to processing through all that makes for great conflict in this film that's engaging and poignant. There's great emotional moments between each of these actors. Dunham and Fry really sell this film, and it's quite an engrossing and impactful contemplation on the Holocaust and Jewish culture and returning home and finding your roots. But those are my thoughts on Treasure. Let me know what you think. Let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.